My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Sagittarius. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing a general reading of past, present, future, and 9-card spread. I'm going to be using the regular tarot deck, clarify with the vampire deck, draw a special vampire card, draw a vampire oracle, and then draw 3 yes or no answers for thee. So let's get started on your reading. Okay, the general card is the Fool reversed. Let's look at the first row, which is also your past. You got the 3 of Cups reversed, Hermit reversed, and the Moon reversed. Okay. It's an interesting combination because, normally, with the 3 of Cups, it's kind of like a personal celebration or some kind of personal acknowledgement, or this could have also been some kind of light bulb moment where you pretty much came to terms with something, and something, it will, provided you with some clarity and stuff like that, but it's definitely, a personal achievement no matter what. But yeah, with the Hermit reverse, it's also kind of like the saying, okay, I want to take action right now because, I finally have clarity in my mind. But with the Moon reverse, it's kind of like a bit of a deceptive, kind of also an illusion, a sort of situation, and it's also a bit of a directionless position. Yeah, the thing is, it's like, yeah, it sounds complicated. Unless it's just it does resonate with you. But the thing is, it's okay. You want to get off of this mountain of solitude, but yet you pretty much just think, well, where do I go from here and stuff like that? Because the thing is okay. It's good to have like these clarity moments. These unexpected clarity moments where you think, oh yeah, that's what that means. Well, the thing is you want to actually pick up where you left off and not feeling like, well, where do I go from here? And so, but that's kind of what the Moon reverse is not giving you, because the thing is it's kind of just leaving out thinking, okay, it's kind of like, being put in a stranded kind of position where, it's like, oh, you want to get off of that one island or something, but you have no boat or anything, to bring you back to civilization or whatever it may be. So, it's like you have this desire to want to change, but yet you pretty much probably still feel like thinking, but how do I go about it? I still feel like I'm incredibly stuck. I don't know where I'm heading towards. I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with this stuff. So, well, eventually, something will work out for you, no matter what. This is actually the combination I do feel, or I felt when I woke up, from my 300-year slumber as a vampire. Because the thing is I also, I didn't really have clarity, though, the thing was, this is more or less my will, my motivation to actually get out of the coffin and stuff like that. I wanted to get out of the coffin, but yeah, I pretty much just thought, well, where do I go from here? I'm just in this small place in a box. I only slept in a box, for a while before I actually got a real, actual, proper casket, but the thing is, or coffin, but the thing is that, I pretty much also felt incredibly, directionless. I was so out of it thinking, well, where do I go from here? So, but eventually, it's like, the signs and symbols of whatever it may be, do eventually show up. It's pretty much, your intuition that's more or less guiding you towards what you actually need and desire. And then eventually, it's like it all turns around where you're having the celebratory moment. Yes, you're still thinking about which path you're taking, but then here are the signs and symbols that show up eventually. But let's look at current times. Okay, you do get the 4 of Cups. It's kind of like a hesitation kind of offering. The Knight of Swords, which is kind of also feeling a bit directionless. And you get one of your beautiful strong cards, my beloved Sagittarius. Okay. Yeah, this is where, the signs and symbols will pretty much show up. Because the thing is it's like, let's look at these 2 cards first. Because eventually, you will find out which direction you're heading towards. But the problem is okay, you could be, faced with a potential offering, or, in current times, but you're kind of still, wondering, should I accept it, yes or no? And, this could also be, signs and symbols that could already be showing up, but maybe, your intuition is more or less saying, well, I don't really feel like I want to actually, go down this unknown route, because who's to say it's going to actually, be bringing me towards what I need and stuff like that. So, but yet, you're kind of still walking, through, some kind of foggy, kind of a clouded path and stuff like that. You pretty much still feel incredibly directionless, because, it's like, I'm still going to have to clarify it, but if you were to choose this potential offering or guide or road, whatever it may be, it could also lead you to feeling directionless even more. But eventually, it's like, you know, if we look at these two cards, is, you know, you could still be feeling directionless, you know, going down the smoky, clouded, you know, very, you know, like, you know, well, unknown paths and stuff like that. But eventually, you know, you do reach some kind of, you know, grounded, balanced, serene, and at peace feeling eventually. So that's where it'll pretty much eventually, you'll click in. I mean, in current times, of course. But then let's look at the future. You do end or start with the Nine of Cups reversed. No fulfillment, disappointment, disparity. But here's another moment of actually having a light bulb situation. Again, with the Three of Wands, of thinking, okay, we're going to get out of this situation. Because maybe, you know, it's like you could be feeling, you know, at peace and serene right now, and pretty much just thinking, eventually we'll get there. You know, it's like, you know, there's no time frame regarding this whole, you know, path, quest, voyage, whatever it may be, of the unknown. And so this is where you pretty much just think, well, I'm so sick and tired of actually walking through the unknown. I have no idea where I'm heading towards. It's just giving me nothing but, you know, disparity and disappointment and no kind of fulfillment whatsoever. But eventually, this is where your motivation comes in. It's a fire card, so unlike, you know, this, yeah, the Sagittarius is, I know, I love and desire in many ways, is this is you actually going on an adventure. This is the Sagittarius that's pretty much finally saying, you know what? We're going to try to find our own way. We're going to actually get out even, you know, into this other alternative, you know, path, road, quest, voyage, whatever it may be, because you don't want to be stuck in disappointment and disparity, right? And this is you actually, you know, kicking, you know, your gear into, you know, drive again and thinking, okay, you know, let's start hitting out and stuff like that. So, but let's do some clarification. Okay, as for the Three of Cups reversed, personal celebration, you get the Emperor. Okay. Aries energy. I mean, this could also have taken place maybe the start of March 21st. I mean, that is also technically in the past. Yeah, what I kind of see here is, you know, it's like you had a personal celebratory moment, but you were also incredibly strong and bold, and that's what motivated you to actually want to get out of the whole, you know, like, you know, solitude moment and stuff like that. So this was pretty much actually having a light bulb moment where you pretty much just thinking, you know what, well, maybe you looked at yourself in a mirror, maybe you just acknowledge your own intuition, how strong and powerful you are, or maybe you have a really good partner, spouse, mentor, professor, teacher, parent, whoever it may be, who pretty much also helped you realize, you know, this, you know, combination, this, you know, light bulb moment and stuff like that. So, but whatever, you know, actually, you know, resonates with you, of course. You know, this is actually already a really good light bulb moment, just like this moment and this moment as well. The Hermit reverse, you get the High Priestess. You know, you can have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but you're actually using, you know, your intuition, but you're also using the upper book of knowledge from this Vampirist. And this is also like the book of experience, knowledge, you know, past, you know, your intuition, anything, you know, that you pretty much are applying into this position or in this situation, or that you were at least because it's in the past, you know, that you pretty much just thought, you know what, you know, this isn't the first time I felt this way. Eventually, you know, it's like, you know, something, you know, did, you know, click in your mind, and you pretty much just thought, you know what, you know, we're going to have to take action. We don't want to be stuck in this, you know, uncertain position any longer anymore. So, but this is where, you know, the most powerful, strongest intuition person, you, well, pretty much is guiding you down the mountain of solitude. Because for, you know, despite the moon reverse, you feel kind of directionless and stuff like that. You get the Prince of Wands, one of your beautiful cards. It's a fiery, passionate, and determined card. And the thing is what I love about this is, you know, it's like, I know that, you know, that Sagittarius is love, adventure. So this is you actually going on an adventure. Maybe you don't have to be sticking to any kind of map or navigation system, whatever it may be, because you're pretty much just saying, you know, let's just see where our guide and senses are going to be taking us and stuff like that. So I admire that completely. It's like, you know, your guides and senses are all up in here. This is where the High Priestess moment is already taking place, and this is where, you know, your motivation is finally, you know, pretty much is kicking into, you know, a really good, you know, gear or whatever, speed. But why would you be feeling hesitant about this potential offering? Nine of Grails. Okay, well, you are being offered something, but you're, you know, a bit hesitant about it. So maybe, you know, it's like, you know, you're dealing with, you know, maybe the first exit or, you know, the first, you know, sign and stuff like that, and you're pretty much just kind of thinking, well, I don't want to really have to go back, or maybe it might, lead you back to, square one or whatever it may be. But I do sense that you're kind of a bit hesitant about it, but yet you do feel some kind of fulfillment, and this is the second Nine of Grails in this reading. So, I can understand how, when you're about to, will head towards something, on one side your senses, will pretty much just say, well, it will, it doesn't, seem right, stuff like that, but maybe it could definitely be giving you some kind of fulfillment, happiness, positivity, fertility. I mean, this isn't really the Empress, but you do see the apples, which is kind of a sign of fertility and stuff like that, and just happiness no matter what. So, and that's what I mostly saw or see for my beloved Sagittarius is that, yeah, sometimes, it's like, when you're being presented with, like, signs or symbols or something, don't immediately, disregard it or anything. Just let the High Priestess more or less guide you, towards, this whole, situation. Again, it's nothing ventured is nothing gained, so. Knight of Swords reverse, you feel kind of directionless. Maybe you did actually, go through with that, potential, alternative route or path and stuff like that. You feel kind of directionless. You feel, I like to think, well, where am I heading towards? You get the Six of Wands, which is now a very beautiful, grand, celebratory moment. Okay. I love my beautiful Sagittariuses because you guys are very, adventurous. You guys like to get out. You guys like to try new things. You guys aren't like homebodies unless, you do have, that kind of homebody mentality. But I know that there's quite a few of you guys out there that just love to go out, travel, try new things. Wow, I'm impressed. But that's, what you're also proving to yourself, how strong and capable and impressive you are. Because the thing is sometimes, when you're actually, faced with having to make a decision, some humans, they're like a deer in the headlights and they think, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. But, if the High Priestess more or less says, you know what, if you were to follow this route, it's actually going to give you fulfillment. And, you might feel still a bit, dazed, confused, and a bit directionless. But the thing is it's definitely going to get, present you with this big celebratory moment. Because for Temperance, you get Six of Pentacles. So that's kind of like a give and take, reciprocating kind of situation. So you could be receiving something real soon, because this is still at the end of current times. I can't say when or how, of course, but you could be receiving something because you're in a really serene, grounded, at peace mentality. And so this is you in your strong suit as being the Temperance. So yeah, I mean, the crux is, it's like, okay, when you're actually, faced with the unknown, thousands of humans, even me as a vampire, I really, will get so worried about the unknown. But the thing is, it's like, as long as, your own past senses and experience are there, to more or less remind and to guide you to say, okay, let's just try something else. It's like, if you're about to, about to embark on anything, just take it easy. You don't want to be, jumping into a ice cold pool or something, because it might end up really bad. But, just maybe dipping your toes and just trying to see if it feels right and stuff like that. If it doesn't feel right, go back to the main road and just think, okay, let's try out a different, route and stuff like that. But always be the adventurous, passionate, and beautiful fire sign that you are. Because you are definitely going to be receiving something that looks incredibly positive. Nine of Cups reversed in the future, you get the Tower. Okay, so the thing is you could be facing some kind of maybe unforeseen or hopefully foreseen circumstance, because that's why I'm here as your Vampire Tarot Guide reader, is the Tower is technically a blessing in disguise card, because, it's like, maybe, it's like you have to break down this lack of fulfillment situation. Because at first you probably feel no fulfillment, you feel no abundance, you feel, you're practically, starving, you're probably incredibly thirsty and stuff like that, but you have to kind of break down this whole situation in the future. I mean, even though you could probably have some kind of regret and remorse afterwards, but what you're actually breaking down is, this whole, negative situation, so you could actually get out there and start growing and stuff like that. So, wow. Yeah, I mean, just be incredibly adventurous, but know that sometimes, like an ether or some kind of energy or reason or something, what works, even though, you might think, well, how is this supposed to benefit me? I can't see it. I well, technically don't feel it or believe it and stuff like that. But sometimes these situations have to take place, so, you could actually, get back out there and actually, just, be the adventurous, growing, developing, strong, passionate individual, Sagittarius. So, but why would you be feeling disappointment? because you get the Five of Skulls. Okay. The thing is, you know, I hope this decision isn't going to be causing you any kind of like poverty, bankruptcy, I mean, any kind of situation. But sometimes, I mean, with the Three of Wands afterwards, you get the Lord of Skulls. Okay, so you do get a happy ending. I wanted to make sure of that. But the thing is, okay, you know, you have to break down something. Maybe you have to invest. Maybe you have to, like, technically put in a lot of money to actually deal with this situation. You have no motivation whatsoever. You pretty much just think, well, yeah, there goes all of my money. I feel incredibly disappointed because I feel incredibly bankrupt. I feel like, you know, I just wasted my money. I feel like I have, you know, well, my entire bank account is all, you know, drained, you know. But the thing is, you know, for my beloved Sagittariuses, I do see financial stability and abundance with the King of Pentacles in the end. Yeah, very, very, very hard and tough to have to manage to get through all of this stuff, but eventually you do get a happy ending, no matter what. So, yeah, it's something you might have to maybe be struggling with in the future eventually, but eventually, you know, you do get your freedom. You are able to go out and just enjoy life and stuff like that, you know. I mean, I wonder if this could be a potential, you know, financial battle of some kind, maybe divorce or breakup, or I'm not really getting anything regarding love or anything, but any kind of change that requires you to have to invest in a lot of money where you pretty much just think, well, it does not give me any kind of happiness and stuff like that. Eventually, I do see, you know, this beautiful new little seed, or, you know, this tiny little sprout that's growing into this very beautiful, abundant, you know, King of Pentacles position in the future. Special card, Two of Cups. Okay, this is like partnership, love, companionship, but you know what this is also about is taking good care of yourself. This could be you and you and you, however this resonates. But I see you taking good care of yourself. I see you actually just thinking, okay, you know, the most important person who's always going to be there for you is you alone. It's like I had to more or less learn that the hard way. But the thing is, you know, it's like if you know how strong and capable you are, just like the powerful, mighty, beautiful, you know, well, Sagittarius, the hunter and huntress, is, you know, the only person who's actually going to be doing the hunt is you. So the thing is you know, the only person who's going to give you all the self-love, self-care, self-love, I mean, or devotion in any way is going to be you. If you want to go and treat yourself, the only person who could do that at that moment is you and you alone. So I see you doing a lot of self-care, self-love, and self-nurturing and support no matter what. You know, treat yourself to anything that you want, whether it's, hey, we're going to a beautiful restaurant, whether it's just, you know, indulging in, you know, your favorite snacks or drinks, whatever it may be. But I do a lot of self-love, self-care, because it looks like it could be a little bit dodgy in the future. It doesn't have to be, of course, but should that moment, you know, will take place and transpire no matter what, you do get a happy ending. But it's important during any, you know, Tower and Five of Pentacles, you know, moment to actually, you know that you can handle this and to take absolutely good care of yourself no matter what. What does Oracle have? Enlightenment, inspiration, epiphany, and innovation. Now, you could be heading towards an innovative, you know, position. You know, I know how a lot of fire signs like Aries, Leo, or even the Sagittarius are very good innovators and stuff like that. Having epiphanies is good because those are like light bulb moments and stuff like that. And having inspiration on wanting to actually, you know, get out and be the hermit reversed and actually just think, okay, you know, we're going to have these light bulb moments. We're going to have to go out on the hunt. There's clarity and stuff like that. You know, let's be, you know, we're good innovators and let's create what we, you know, will want, dream, and desire. And eventually everything is going to work out just fine. Okay, I'm going to finish off with 3 yes or no answers. Please feel free to pause this video. Think about the questions you want answered. Number 1, you get a yes with the Page of Wands. Whoops. Number 2, you get yes with the Lovers. And number 3, you get no with the Magician reversed. Okay, so you get 2 yeses and 1 no's. Well, I'm going to have to leave it at this for my beloved Sagittarius, but if this reading resonated, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. For the ones who have already done it, thank you so much for your love and devotion towards my channel and myself. In a few days, I'm going to go back to love rings. I'm going to go back and forth between general and love for now. But if anybody wants to have a personal reading, all you have to do is just post in the discussion box that you want to have a personal reading. Then I'll respond to you with my email, and then we can more or less get the process going. But thank you so much for your love and devotion towards my channel. I want to wish you all the best. Take good care of yourself, and everything should work out just fine no matter what. But I love you guys incredibly.